Hey, thanks for joining me today. It is Tuesday, March 28th. Time flies. Today, we're talking about getting what you look for in life. It's like searching for your keys in a messy room. You may find them eventually. It's going to take some effort. Seriously, folks, this is the real thing. If you're constantly looking for drama and chaos, you're going to find it. You'll be a magnet for trouble. Drama llama. Chaos connoisseur. You'll attract people who thrive on drama. You'll seek out situations that are fraught with tension. And before you know it, you're living in your own telenovela. On the other hand, if you're looking for peace, tranquility, you're more likely to find that too. Be your own Zen master, a chillaxer, a calm and centered guru. You'll attract people who share your values. You'll seek out situations that are conducive to a calm and centered mindset. And before you know it, you'll be living your best laid-back life. And it's true, isn't it? If you're stuck in a certain mindset, flame is especially high today. If you're stuck in a certain mindset, you're more likely to see the world in a certain way. If you're always looking for a fight, every disagreement is going to seem like a battle. If you're looking for a reason to be offended, guess what? Every comment is going to seem like an insult. And if all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Now, it's not just about what you're looking for, though. It's about how you're looking for it. If you're looking for success, for example, and you're doing it from a place of laziness or entitlement, not likely to find it. If you're waiting around for success to fall in your lap, like it's some kind of magic gift from the universe. Spoiler alert, it's not. If you're looking for success from a place of hard work, determination, you're more likely to achieve it. It's like you're a success ninja, a go-getter, a hustler with a heart. You'll have a clear goal in mind. You'll attract people who respect and admire your work ethic. And you'll end up in a career that's built on a foundation of hard work and determination. Because the truth is, if you're always looking for the same thing, you're always going to keep finding the same thing. It's like you're stuck in a feedback loop, a cycle of self-fulfilling prophecies, a never-ending Groundhog Day. And if you're not careful, you'll end up being trapped in a never-ending MC Hammer music video. And I need to get some references from within the last 10 years. Hammer time, right? Anyway, so next time you find yourself feeling like a hot mess, ask yourself, what am I looking for? And am I looking for it in the right way? Because remember, folks, you get what you look for. And if you're not finding what you want, it might be time to change your approach. My name's Tom Coffey. This is the Coffee Nuance Show, the best censored commentary and news show live right now. Flame on. Hey, thanks for joining me, everyone. What an awesome day. And I really wanted to talk about you do see what you look for. That is a real thing. If you are convinced that the world is out to get you, it starts to seem like the world is out to get you. If you are hung up on like whatever your thing is, everything is racist, everything is sexist, everything is whatever, it's going to look that way. It really is going to start looking that way. Doesn't mean that it's real, though. But it's real to your perception. And that's one of the big things, is to figure out, how can I change my perception to have the life that I want? How can I change how I view things to be happier, to be more successful? Because if you're looking at the world a certain way and it's not working for you, right? If it's upsetting you, if everything is upsetting you, you can change your approach. You don't have to look at that. You don't have to see it in that point of view anymore. If it's not working for you, knock it off. You know, one of the things that I talk about in my fitness classes, I teach dance fitness, and when there's new people in there, I have a new little spiel I give them. But one of the things I say to people is, if anything hurts, stop, knock it off, okay? And it's the same way if you're looking at the world. If you keep seeing these repeating patterns that are just doing your heart in, doing your soul in, crushing your spirit, knock it off. Knock it off. We can look at the things in a different point of view. We can find a different way to look at things so that we're a little happier. We're not as crushed as we are. You know, you even see this in like conspiracies. If you're a real big conspiracy person and you really get into it, everything kind of seems conspiratorial. You know? One thing is if you look at the media's lying and you're convinced of that. I am. But then every time I see anything in the media, it reinforces that point of view. Now, if that point of view is affecting me in such a negative way, then I might need to have a new perspective on that. It's just something to think about today on this Tuesday. Let's look at got a good show for you today. We've talked about you get what you seek, you get what you look for. I want to talk about everyone living paycheck to paycheck, more people than you think. Talk about the nation's core values. There's a survey that came out recently, kind of disturbing conclusions from that. Israel is near civil war. I'll touch on what Netanyahu had to say about that. And lastly, I got some good news. They're ATWs. What is that? Well, stick around and I'll tell you about that. I think it's a really positive thing. And as always, if you were watching the show live, thank you for watching the show live. We do have more people watching the show live now on YouTube, but on replay, on Rumble, I'm getting like 10 times the amount of people watching it on Rumble on replay than on YouTube. Wow. And that's just nice seeing what it's like when when someone doesn't put their thumb on the scale. You know, my video yesterday got over 500 views on Rumble, so that's awesome. If you're over there on Rumble or on any other platform that I am streaming on, after the show is over, I will put time codes for every story that I'm doing. So if you get to this point and you're like, oh, I don't care about the paycheck story, I don't care about the nation's core values, I just want to get to the good news and see what these ATWs are, I will have a time code in the description of the video. And on YouTube, there's a scrub bar at the bottom, so you can click and just go to the next story if that's what you like. And also, stick around for the after show where I will be addressing everyone's comments on every platform. If you leave a comment live, I will be addressing that in the after show after the outro. But now, let's get to our first story, living paycheck to paycheck. All right. And I said all right again. I need to put $1 in the jar every time I say all right at the beginning of a new story. Knock it off, Tom. Knock it off. Okay. As inflation rises in the U.S., more people are living paycheck to paycheck and turning to side hustles to make ends meet. According to a report by Lending Club and Flex Jobs, they found that 62% of U.S. adults were living paycheck to paycheck in February, up from 60% the previous month. Meanwhile, 44% of Americans have a side hustle amid inflation, a 13% rise compared to 2020, according to a different survey. To cope with higher prices, consumers are being advised to refresh your budget, eliminate unnecessary subscriptions and memberships, clear up debt, and reduce impulse purchases. Now, when I read this, about 62% of people are living paycheck to paycheck. It seemed a bit higher to me, and perhaps I'm in a bubble. that there are that many people in this country that are so close to being totally broke. Perhaps I'm in a bubble, and I acknowledge that. But that's a lot. The majority of Americans living paycheck to paycheck. That's the wrong picture there. There we go. Doing their budget on the old school calculator. That's a lot. And that's got to be a lot of stress. That has to be so much stress living paycheck to paycheck, not knowing what's going to happen if you lose your employment or if an emergency comes up. That's really scary. And so getting back to this mindset idea is, if you are concentrating on being broke, concentrating on that, you're going to see a lot more of that in your life. And so perhaps changing your mindset, trying to look for, if your mindset just changes and is just like, oh, there's lots of opportunity for me. I can't believe there's so much opportunity for me. You are actually going to start seeing more opportunity for yourself. I promise you that you will. You do see what you look for. Now, I'm not going to give away when my birthday is, but my birthday is, you just do a 3-digit code. So today it is March 28th. So if it were my birthday, it would be 328, right? Well, when I was a kid, I would look for the number. Let's just say it was 328. And I would start seeing it everywhere. I would see it everywhere I looked. I would see it in license plates. I would see it in prices. I would see it on the side of trucks, the number of the truck. And I couldn't stop seeing it. Even if I didn't want to, I would see it. I'd be driving down the road. It would be it'd be over here, on the side on a billboard or something. The billboard number, I would see that number. You do see what you look for. And I think that if you are living paycheck to paycheck, if you decide to look for ways to improve that, they're out there, and you're going to see them. I promise you're going to see them if you decide to start seeing them, because we really do see what we look for. And in this case, living paycheck to paycheck, I know it's got to be really stressful for people. It's really got to be stressful. Don't concentrate on that. Concentrate on things being better and start looking for things that can improve that for you. And you'll start seeing them. You will. And if that's true, let me know. Come back and tell me if you were able to see new opportunities once you started looking for them. I would be interested in knowing that. But that's kind of heartbreaking that so many people are living paycheck to paycheck. Yikes. Let's get to something a little more positive, perhaps. And that, of course, was a joke, because this story is also negative. New Wall Street Journal poll has revealed generational and political divides in the U.S. that are transforming the nation's culture, politics, and governance. The poll found that a combined impact of political division, COVID pandemic, and the lowest economic confidence in decades having a startling effect on our core values. It showed that patriotism, religious faith, having children, and other values that define the national character for generations are receding in importance, while tolerance for others has also fallen. The poll quantified a generational and political divide that indicates a rot at the heart of the nation. That's really sad. Just to get you some specifics, 56% of Americans polled said a 4-year college degree is not worth the cost because people often graduate without specific job skills and with a large amount of debt. And I kind of agree with that. That wasn't the case when I went to school. 33% said they have very little or no confidence in public schools. And that's really sad, too. That is a shift in viewpoint. I did teach public school for a short amount of time, decades ago. And I kind of agree with that as well. I do have little or no confidence in the public schools, at least the way they're currently being run. And so we can look at these shift in polls. So there were some polls from NBC did 25 years ago in 1998. Patriotism is very important. Dropped from 70% to 38%. It's almost half drop that patriotism is very important. Religion is very important. That dropped from 62% to 39%. Having children is very important. That dropped from 59% to 30%. Community involvement is very important. That dropped from 47% to 27%. That's crushing. And money is very important. That rose 31% to 43%. Yeah. So why? What is happening to our nation's core values? Why are they dropping so much? And I think, if I can speculate, my opinion on this is when you have people in the media, when you have people at universities or public schools or institutions, business, always talking about how negative everything is, people start believing how negative everything is. If you're told everything is racist, everything is racist, everything is racist, and you hear this every single day, you start to believe it, even if it's not true. And I think that this is having a detrimental effect on our country. Now, I am certainly not one to say, USA, rah, rah, rah. There's a difference between the idea of your country and how it's actually operating. I don't like how it's operating, okay? I don't like all the wars we're in. I don't like the values of most of the politicians. They don't seem to match up with me. But that doesn't mean that I hate this country. I'm still very red, white, and blue. I have a lot of hope for the idea of this country. I just don't think it's being. I just don't think it's being operated in the best way possible. So, if I were to think, is patriotism important? I tell you what is a big turnoff to me. A huge turnoff to me is people that conflate criticism of what someone is doing with that person. Okay? So just because someone's doing wrong doesn't mean that they're a bad person. They just happen to be temporarily doing the wrong thing. In the same way, I don't think that a country, just because a country is doing so many things wrong, doesn't mean that the country is bad. It just means that the country is off track. And the way to get things back on track is not to just say, be all full of doom and it's all over and everything is garbage. That doesn't work. You get what you look for. And if you want the country to be better, if you want your schools to be better, you need to start looking for ways to make them better. And it really is a mindset. And I think that we have a mind virus in this country being perpetrated. I'm not even going to talk about who's doing it or the motives behind it, because that all sounds conspiratorial. But there are people out there just slagging off the country, everything about it. And I don't think that leads anywhere good. And I want I would like things to be better. I would like the country to be better for our children, not worse. And it really comes down to our attitude. So if your attitude sucks, knock it off. It's like when I'm in my fitness class. If something hurts, stop. And if your mindset is not working right now, if you're not happy with the way you see the world, you need to change the way you see the world, because there really is a lot of awesomeness out there. So I don't know. That's just my take on it. Let me know what you think, because I really do value your opinion on this. Can we get to one positive story? Okay, maybe not the next one, but the one after. Here we go. Positivity all around today, folks. Positivity all around. Netanyahu admits Israel is on the brink of civil war. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has paused his judicial overhaul plan after tens of thousands of Israelis demonstrated against the plan outside Parliament, and the country's largest labor union launched a nationwide strike. Yikes. The proposal, which would give Netanyahu and his allies the final say in appointing the nation's judges, and would give Parliament, which is controlled by his allies, authority to overturn Supreme Court decisions and limit the court's ability to review laws. This doesn't look like it's going in a good way. Anyway, it's plunged Israel into the worst domestic crisis in decades. The anti-governmental protest movement has vowed to intensify its efforts. And I've got to tell you, I am not that versed in Israel. For whatever reason, every time it comes up, I just don't want to learn about it. I just don't want to look into it. Every time I do, it seems to upset me. And so I've kind of put blinders on, and I don't really know a whole lot about what's happening over there other than this article that I read, but it doesn't sound very positive. But as the leader, if you decide to change the rules to give your people more power and the other people less power, I don't think that ever ends well, does it? Does that ever work? There's always a backlash, and often the backlash is much bigger than the original thing that they do. Anyone watching this video can clue me in as to some things that are happening in Israel. Point me to something that I can learn a little bit more about this, because I gotta be honest, I don't understand Israel. I don't understand the United States' support of Israel. And I'm not saying I understand it in a good way or a bad way. I just don't get it. I don't get it. But that's maybe something I can look into. I know these were a lot of negative stories today, but let's get to a positive story right now. All right. Did it again. Put another $1 in the jar. I said all right at the beginning of a story. All Terrain Georgia is a collaboration between the Georgia Department of Natural Resources and the Amy Copeland Foundation. It offers free all-terrain wheelchairs at 11 state parks and historic sites in Georgia to people with physical challenges. The initiative aims to make the outdoors more accessible and enjoyable for all. The wheelchairs are designed to safely maneuver rough, wet, sandy, or snowy terrain. The goal is to connect more people with the joys of nature and promote healing for people of all abilities. And I gotta tell you, this sounds awesome. I mean, look at this it looks like a little tank that this guy has here in the picture. I watched a couple videos on it, seeing people that couldn't even hike, people without legs, using these vehicles to go hiking, to go on these beautiful scenic routes, and to be able to experience that. I've never heard of these all-terrain wheelchairs before, but I think that this is really cool. And it got me thinking, just as there's so many opportunities if you look for opportunities, right? If you're looking for a business opportunity, I was thinking, boy, you buy a couple of these all-terrain wheelchairs, you put them up on Airbnb as an experience, people coming, visiting Portland. You could have that listed on Airbnb, that you could go to the different waterfalls, because you can't go to a waterfall in a regular wheelchair. This could be a new business that you could make, to rent out these all-terrain wheelchairs for people, and you'd be doing good, because how awesome would it be if you couldn't walk and you were able to get an all-terrain wheelchair and then go up a mountain, go see a waterfall, ride along the beach? Man, that would be awesome, and you would be putting out some real positivity in the world, and perhaps even making some money for yourself. I think it's an awesome idea. I'm really inspired. I think this is a super positive thing. I think it's really cool that Georgia is doing this. Now, they only have 11 that they're doing. They have 11 wheelchairs scattered out through all their state parks, so probably not enough for everyone that would want to use them. But wow, what a cool thing. And getting back to this theme of you see what you look for, every day I'm trying to look for a positive story in the news. And it's very hard to find a positive story in the news. But now, having done this for a couple of months, looking for a positive story, I'm able to find them quicker, and I'm able to see more positive stories. And so that's just another reminder of, you get what you look for. I'm looking for positivity, and I'm seeing it now. I'm seeing a lot more of it than I did before. So I really like that. Do you know anyone that has used one of these all-terrain vehicles? I'd love to hear about it. Let me know in the comments. I think this is a fantastic idea. I want to look more into this. I think it's really cool. That's all I have for you today. I do have a special announcement that I will tell you about in the after show. So after the outro, stick around. I'll read the comments and tell you about some stuff. Thank you all. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I will see you mañana with a big idea, because it's Big Idea Wednesday. So I'll come up with a psychological idea that you might be interested in. So I'll see you tomorrow. Stick around for the after show. Until then, peace. All right. Thanks, everyone. This is the after show. The first thing that I wanted to announce was Apothecary John, who always is in the comments, often first in the comments with the flames and the coffee, has set up a Discord server for this channel. Now, I have a Discord account that I've used in the past. I'm not a real expert in it, but he set this up, and perhaps you may be interested in the Discord server. I think that it can be a place that you can send suggestions for stories, for good news, things like that. And it's a less formal way than email of communicating. So it might be something to check out. I put a link to the link in the description of the YouTube channel. I'll put it on all the channels. A link to the Discord server, so you might find a community over there that you might relate with. It might be a real positive thing. So you can check that out. I do thank John for setting that up for everyone. So that's awesome. I really appreciate that. Got some people watching over on Rumble. Duggo is always on Rumble. Duggo42, thanks for checking in. And Tobias is here, says, thinking about only watching on Rumble starting soon. YouTube is a joke. They don't deserve you, Tom. Thank you. I appreciate that. I will take that as a compliment. I will take that as a compliment. That is great. But let's get to some of the things. Now, one thing that I did want to mention right before I get started is yesterday I said that I was going to try pickleball last night. And I did. In fact, I wore this to pickleball, so I decided to wear it for the show today. That's the pickleball paddle, and there I am in the Southwest Community Center playing pickleball. I got to tell you about pickleball. I've never played it before. I played tennis as a kid. Not real competitive or anything, just for fun, on the parks in the summer and whatnot. I killed at pickleball. Oh man, this was a fun game. I still don't understand the scoring, and I would like to make some revisions to their rules. Some of the rules are dumb. There should just be some consistency. I want some consistency. One of them is the front line. If it hits it, it's out. But the sideline, if it hits it, it's in. Or maybe it's the reverse of that. Doesn't make any sense. And the scoring is odd to me. But whatever. I had a blast. I smoked these old folks. Everyone. I was dominating. So this might be my new thing. This might be my Monday night activity, is pickleball. I had a blast, and it was not super cardio intensive, so I didn't feel like I got real amped up playing at night. But I had a really great time. It's a very easy sport to understand. There were people there of all abilities. And so I just want to encourage you, if you've never checked it out, go try pickleball and let me know, because I think that was really cool. Okay. Let's see. Countdown needs music. Yeah, I need a better countdown and some music. One thing that I've caught myself doing is my mic is live the whole time. And so the countdown is happening and I take a sip of coffee. And I feel like everyone's hearing the coffee, and that's probably gross. So I apologize for that. But I'll work it up. You reap what you sow. That is true. Let's see. ATW, Airborne Training Whatchamacallits. It was a good guess. Wasn't correct in this case. Joined Discord, and then Popcorn and Dinosaur. So I'm not sure if Discord is, are they into popcorns and dinosaurs? If so, that's something for me to look into. It's brand new, so please excuse the nakedness of it, says Apothecary John. Okay. Get ready to get depressed. Sorry about that. That was not my intention today. Just all of the news just seemed to be negative. Believe me, there was a lot more negative news out there today, but I'm just kind of over certain topics. I'm just kind of done with, school shootings and, I don't know, trans and whatever. Like, I'm just done with it. So there was a lot more negativity. I didn't want to talk about it. Let's see. What's up with Nashville? How do you feel about Fox, MSNBC, CNN, all in unison going to Joe Biden speaking, and he starts to joke about chocolate ice cream? Yeah, that was. Again, Joe Biden is one of those things, like, people, I don't even like talking about him. It's really weird to me. If you didn't see the clip, they go to him for this tragedy, all these people that were killed. And he goes down, he's like, I'm here for ice cream. I got ice cream upstairs. They told me Annie's ice cream is really good, and I like the chocolate chip. And I'm not exaggerating. Like, it was so out of touch. You know, hey kids, you like ice cream? Yeah, afterwards I'll get you some ice cream. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I guess we had a school shooting. You know, it was so bizarre. And I find it really odd that no one's talking about the fact that both the president and the vice president, I don't know, they don't even appear to be lucid. They, you know, Kamala, she's over there in Africa now. She's in Ghana. She looks drunk. She looks drunk on all her public appearances. I don't have evidence that she's drunk, but I know drunk people, and she looks drunk. And then Joe doesn't even look like he knows where he is half the time. No one would be rattling off statement after statement about ice cream when you're about to talk about a shooting. So the whole thing is just bizarre to me. Paycheck to paycheck is by design, keeps people from seeking higher pay by quitting their job. There's something to that. There's something to that, Doug. Paycheck to paycheck, I got laid off too, but I agree about the mindset is important. When getting a job, your best odds are getting it when you're positive and confident. I'm naturally optimistic. That's good to hear, Jesse. I think I'm real optimistic as well. And sometimes, you know, like we don't know what other people are thinking. We can't read minds. And often I have a hard time relating to people that are super negative about things. I just don't get it because I don't see it that way. And it's tough. It's tough. I almost didn't accept my, let's see. I think that's Natasha's saying something about the Discord, I think. Oh, I almost didn't accept my phone number, but then I saw her birth. Okay. You do see what you look for, said Lucid Moments of Reality. I bought this red car once and never saw one before. Then I saw them everywhere. Yes, that is the... Oh, I did a video on this. It's got a really Baader-Meinhof theory. Baader-Meinhof phenomenon is what it's called. And what that is in reference to is there was this terrorist group in Germany, I believe, and they did something. They're called Baader-Meinhof, thing. They did something, and all of a sudden, like you heard about that, and then you heard about it 3 different places, like within the same week. That is a phenomenon that we have. If you have a particular car, you will see that car everywhere. And it jumps out at you. It's a real thing. And so just think about that, though, is if you see your car everywhere, let's say you've got let's say you got a Tesla, and all of a sudden you pick out all the Teslas. I know that for me, when I had a Volkswagen Beetle back in the day, the old ones, not the new ones, you give the wave to everybody else that has the Beetle, and you can play slug bug with that as well. But you see them everywhere, and you're just alerted to them everywhere. But it's the same thing with your mindset. If you're looking for racism, you're going to find it. Okay? If you're looking for inequality, you're going to find it. But also, if you're looking for the kindness in other people, you're going to find that too. If you're looking for opportunities from other people, if you're looking for them, that's what you're going to see. Everyone needs values. Good advice, says the Erie Fairy. That's good. Public schools and these teachers coming out of college all suck, says Muggsy Spug. Hashtag not all. Okay, not all. The issue is that that's what people are being taught. And if you're being trained in a certain way, and you're not critical, if you're not really evaluating it, you're just taking it in, oh, this is what I'm supposed to do, and you do, and then you do that thing, you're just doing what you've been taught to do. So the public school teachers have been taught to do what they're doing. Rot is a good word for it. Yes. I didn't go to a 4-year college. I learned to weld in the early 90s. Been a great life. Welding is a good occupation. College teaching grads be like, oh, I have a job. I have to motivate. I can't be a wet noodle. I'm a role model. Well, I didn't sign up for this. Pretty much, yeah. Tobias was here, says, nothing matters except for money. Not good. Yeah, that was one of the negative things about the poll, that the only thing that went up was people's desire for money, and everything else went down. That was really sad. Let's see. Talking about welding here in the chat, which is cool. Rampant victim mentality. If you don't accept being a victim, you won't be one. That is, that's true. I mean, you could still be a victim. A whole lot less likely to be a victim if you just choose not to. Are people going to fake? Let's see. Missed the scroll here. Are people going to fake being handicapped just to play on those vehicles? Well, the thing is, like what I was saying is, I think it would be really cool to rent these vehicles. I think that'd be a kind of a cool business. And you could rent them to people that wouldn't necessarily have to, you don't have to be handicapped to have the vehicle. So I guess everyone would be able to do them. I would rent one of those, said Lucid Moments of Reality. I think I would too. I think it would be kind of cool. It's kind of like, remember when Segways hit the market? And, downtown areas, they would have little tours on Segways, and you could rent a Segway. And now with scooters, with the electric scooters, I think this would be a really cool thing with these all-terrain wheelchairs. Jesse says, I don't understand Israel. Hear bits and parts, and I am on the side of not wanting to know. We can't know about everything, and like the video says, we should pick what we look for. I kind of agree with that, Jesse. We only have so much time and effort in this life. We can't be an expert on everything, and often I just don't want to even hear about Israel for whatever reason, and I don't even know what that reason is. I'm just acknowledging that I have that feeling sometimes. Hairway to Stephen is Charles Schwab is tanking. Wow. I have not looked in the the markets today. So keep an eye on the economy and the markets. It's all coming down. There's hope yet, people. Yikes. Ooh. Erie Fairy says Discord. Awesome. Let's see. Imagine Tom transitioning from a commentary channel to a pickleball channel. LOL. I could see doing that. I could really see getting into pickleball. Because I had a blast. I played for like an hour and a half. It just flew by. And it was fun. And I think it was fun because I was killing people. It was really fun. The nice thing about pickleball is you can smash it really hard and you're not a jerk. So I liked that. And also because of the physics of it, because it's a wiffle ball, so you can smash it really hard and just naturally it will slow down. Why is it called pickleball again? No idea. I think it was invented by some people drinking. At least that's the story that I heard. Let's see. I'm home with a torn rotator cuff, resting and watching my cat sleep. Life's interesting like that. Sorry about that, but speedy recovery. Speedy recovery. It would be the best censored pickleball commentary. I'll consider it. I'll consider doing some pickleball stuff. I saw that video and thought it was from a year ago or something. Still can't believe it. I think you're talking about the Biden video. Yeah, it's bizarre. Yeah, read the room, dude. Joe Biden kind of reminds me of my grandpa Fred when he was 98 or whatever. Sometimes he'd be in a real good mood. Sometimes he wouldn't. You never really knew what he was going to start saying. And it just was what it was. I think at a certain point, that's just what you become. Unfortunately, I don't think anyone like that should be president. So that's why often, like, I just don't even want to see. I just don't even want to see him. Natasha says, my first husband drove a Beetle. Learned to drive a Standard with that car. Sometimes we would steer using the window flaps. That's good. You could steer with that. The fun thing about those Beetles is you could pick them up. They didn't weigh that much. And it was really funny when I was in college. I had a 65 convertible Beetle that my mom bought new. She passed down to me. And when I would get in and my buddies would get in, you would just see the whole car bow. Because we were all bigger, and it would, you put like 800-900 pounds in the vehicle. The whole chassis would bow. So yeah, it was not a bit of a death trap, but it is what it is. Anyway, if you are interested in the Discord server, go check it out. I'm going to try to learn about that. If you are on Rumble, if you're watching this on Rumble, you never watched me before, leave a comment and a like, just so I can see that you're a real thing and not a bot. I'd like to know that people are real. That would be really cool. But anyway, that's all I got for today. Thanks for hanging out. And I'll see you in the Discord perhaps. And tomorrow with a big idea. So y'all stay awesome. Peace.